Hello, 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 hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed.
Yeah.
Jamie, you need to get changed from work, mate.
I did. I come home and got changed. I thought we got Dong on tonight. Reefing royalty. I'll put my best tie on for him.
Come on, let's have a look. Let's put you on big screen. Come on, show it off.
There you go. You got a fox face. You got your clownfish. You got your regal angel. What more do you want?
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
The effort. Dong, I'm glad to see you wearing the t-shirt. Yeah, I will.
Reefers Network.
I will pull my finger out and send you some more over. I will.
Thank you.
Your favourite colour as well, black. But happy Friday! Thanks for joining us, everybody. Jamie, thanks for coming back. Dong, thanks for saying yes.
My pleasure.
Elephant in the room. Obviously, Ron and Drippy aren't here. They're both having a bit of a time out, as it were, from YouTube. Drip's wants a bit of a break from it. Says he's probably going to come on monthly, and Ron just wants a bit of a time out. And as always, we wish them the very best. Hope they're well. Hope they can tune in at some point or watch it back. So, Dong, you came up with tonight's topic, which we're going to go into in a minute, but we have the normal Friday night shout-outs to do first. And there is a special somebody in the shout-outs that you want to say a little special hello to, isn't there? But we'll get to him in a second. All right, okay. Yeah. Right, so thanks for the 50-odd, 60-odd of you that join us. Happy Friday to you. Hope you've had a good week. Long time no see. John Boy, good evening. You good? Happy Friday. Hi, Chris is with us as well. Good evening, Chris. Yeah. Thanks for supporting the show. Rodders is here as well. He's on the sideline at the minute watching his daughter's football practice, actually. So he's watching this from a mobile. That's commitment for you, Rodders. He's always got his phone in his hand. Yeah, stop it on a Sunday. Jamie's here as well. Evening, Jamie.
Evening.
In person and in the chat.
Good evening.
Anthony's here. Hello. I'm not going to do it because it's been and gone, but good evening, Mr. Parry. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you're well, Peter. Bristol Reefer, Lee, hope you're good. Thank you very much for the support. Techers is here as well. We've got Matty Boy in the house. Not spoke to you in a bit. Hope you and the missus are good, mate. Dirty D's in the house. Good evening. Thanks for the support. Rob's watching from the care home. Hope you're good, man. Hope you're good.
Hi.
Shazza B. Big shout out to them this last couple of weeks. Been amazing. Shaz and Tommy, a lot of support, a lot of love to them too. Thank you ever so much. Critical's here as well. Evening, Critical. Hope you're good.
Good evening.
Harry West has joined us. Must be nothing else on TV for him wherever he is. Just decided to watch us instead. Must be pretty bored. Prime Corals, I keep seeing this name. Very colourful avatar. I think he's showcasing at Acro, if I'm not mistaken. Be nice to see you in person. If you're not, apologies. I've just called you out. Best get a stand. Marky Boy's here as well, Mr. Coates. Love to see you. I know you're going to be at Aqua. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you, mate. I'll bring your T-shirt as well. It's in here. It's on a hanger. Still brand new. No creases. I'll fetch that down to you when I come down with Kaz. Bananarama's here. Fully recovered from Drippy pumping him full of tequila rose at the Network Barbecue. Hope you're good, man.
Good man.
Who else we got in here? Stevie Boy, good evening. Hope you're good.
Who's that?
Mr. East Coast Reefer.
Hi, Steve.
Mr. Steve. Dan's Reefer's in the house as well. Tallest Reefer in the UK. Tell us what the weather is like up there, Daniel. Wow. Hope you're good. Love the new light setup. Very good. What else we got in here? Oh, he couldn't stay away. Hope you're enjoying your Friday night with Bernadette, man. Thank you ever so much.
Everybody's on the way.
Yeah. Reefing News will be back, I'm sure, at some point. Do not panic for those of you that are only tuning in for that as well. Liam's here. Cannot wait to hear Tom's idea of budget reef. Yeah, all right, okay. Well, there's plenty of that to come tonight. And what else we've got? Emma's here as well. Good evening, Emma.
Hello.
Hello.
Joining us. Benji's in the house. Hope you're good, man. Again, thank you very much for your support. What else we've got in here? Anybody I missed? Coach, hope you're good.
Hello, mate.
Good. Dave's Reef has joined us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping through some of these comments because a lot of people are talking to each other and saying happy Friday to each other. Orange Reef, hiya Chris, hope you're good. Amanda Davison is on the vodka as usual, probably. If you are
girl.
me, happy Friday to you. Hope you have a good weekend. Nick and Stacey with us. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Thanks
Hello.
for joining us. Here he is, Reefy Reese, top bloke. I love chatting with him when I see him at AAC. He's such a character. Thanks for joining us, man. Hope you're good. Mr. Oathen is with us as well. Good evening, Al. Hope you and the missus are good. Hope the tank's coming on well. Not seeing any updates recently. You'll have to send me something on WhatsApp. Be good to see how you're getting on with it. He's had a really cool tank done, Dong. I think it's like 8x3 or something foot. Really big tank.
Wow, nice.
Tony Close UK, hope you're good. Thanks for joining us. We've got a few new ones here. Garth, good evening. Superman,
Good evening.
very good.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. Hope you're good. And we are pretty much there. Right, so, Dong, there was one special person that I didn't shout out, as we discussed, for a specific reason. He says he's got his notepad ready. So would you like to give a special welcome and a thanks for joining us to this gentleman?
Oh, absolutely. And thank you very much. So it's Gaza's Reef. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. And thank you very much. And actually, I think you can get my phone number from that guy over there.
You mean me or you mean Jamie?
Yeah,
you forgot who you're on. Tom or Jamie?
One of you is fine. So that if you have any questions, so just you're welcome to text me or WhatsApp me.
I did a tank sort of, not a tank talk, but a tank discussion like a while ago with Gaza. And he was, to be fair to him, he was brilliant in coming on in the early days of the network. I think it was a Sunday morning. We talked about his tank, and I said to him, if you've got any pictures, send them to me on WhatsApp. Okay, my phone nearly exploded in about 5 minutes because of how many pictures he sent me. So what I'm saying is, I would rather him interact with you directly than via myself for that reason. So you might want to silence the notifications.
But thank you very much for your support. Good to see you here again. So we're going to see each other often on the show.
We are.
Awesome.
So he's asking, saying you're a legend. 4 months ago, he asked a simple question. There's no need to drag up the past now, is the Gaza? 4 months ago, I asked a simple question. Question. In your opinion, so we'll start off with this before we talk about budgeting. What are the most important trace elements in order of importance, please? For Gaza?
Iron.
Okay.
Iron is the most important thing. Actually, this is not my own opinion. It's the general opinion from many marine biologists. So that specialize in coral. So you go to the extreme saying that if you do not add anything, iron is the top number one to add to it, because the biological function that it implicates and it participates is so important. On the other hand, that iron actually is quite is available in your salt mix, and also the requirement, the concentration actually does not need to be very concentrated, but it's more like the yes and no answer. So you have some iron in there, or you have no iron there, and that makes a big difference. But too much iron definitely can kill your tank. So seriously, I've seen that twice. So there's a guy actually went to maintain the one of the customers' tank, and he looked at the coral. Oh, they look pretty shady with the coral. You lack iron. You lack iron. So that actually the customer bought a whole bottle of iron and poured it right in. And then he does not lack anything because everything died inside. So too much iron can kill your reef, but a little bit iron is essential.
What's its job in the aquarium, Dong? What part does it play?
Pardon?
What job does iron do in your reef aquarium? What part
actually
does it play?
that implicating in photosynthesis, lots of protein required to be functional. So just like so you have any enzyme or protein to be functional, you have to complex to the iron and change its shape, and before you can do its duty as a biological whatever activity it is. So iron is very important. There's a long list of pathway that the iron that is participating in, but you only need a tiny little bit, especially if you're running a refugium, because algae is a really iron grabber. So it's very effectively suck up the iron and make the iron. Actually, you can cause iron deficiency. That's one of the reasons I do not keep any refugium, macroalgae refugium anymore, because that they really depleted your iron.
Yeah.
So that is if you only dose one thing, iron is the one to go. And then if you can do two things, manganese.
Yeah.
So basically iron and manganese, and this is two top player. But if you only do one, iron, you can do two, iron and manganese. The rest of them, yes and no, and use a good soil mix, and you're probably okay with a lot of them. Or that you can dose some isolate MT, a little all-in-one trace element. So once in a blue moon, so it works. Trace element is just like this. It's a yes and no answer. It's really difficult to lock into a concentration. First of all the ICP technology is not precise enough to basically to guide the dosing of individual trace element. That's what it is. Even if you want to spend $1,200 to do a ICP test and the result coming out is not precise enough, let alone you're doing a $45 ICP test. That's a joke, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Gazzy, we will give you, we will get you specific answers from Dong somehow. Do not worry. But big shout out to him. And happy Friday to you, man. I know you've got a whiskey or two in your hand. Happy Friday. Right, Dong.
And thank you.
You suggested today's topic, and thank you ever so much for coming up with this idea. I think it's a brilliant idea, especially the state of the economy. The state of the economy, should I say. It's an expensive hobby, as we know. But we'll put the violin down for now. It is Friday. So come on, over to you. Reefing on a budget. Okay. What's your thoughts?
Okay, there's so many equipment, so with a price range so big, you can spend $10,000 to set up a reef tank for all the equipment, let alone the coral and the livestock, anything, or you can spend $1,000. So the good thing is that this hobby has been around for become popular about 2 decades. And there's plenty of manufacturer that the Chinese manufacturer are their product become mature because of the time that in this hobby, all the try and error, and then so we actually have the luxury to spend to reefing on a budget. That doesn't happen 15 years ago. 15 years ago, if I want a wave maker that actually can generate a wave, I have to go for a tunza or tunza. And that costs about tunes. Okay, whatever. So that is quite expensive. Back then, it's like $500-600 just for one ton. So, but these days, you can spend about $50 to $60 US. So that's maybe like 40 to 40 pounds in UK, something like that, to get something that do the same job. Yeah. And also as reliable. So for budget reefing, normally the first question people ask is that how reliable are these budget equipments? If it's 15 years ago, I tell you they're all crappy. The 15 years ago. And then remember all the early J-bow pump, and they just one day you wake up and just stop working. But it's no longer this way. All these inexpensive equipment makers come a long way these days, and come to the extent that many of the name brand equipment, they actually have the core component that made by a company like J-bow, Higer. I don't know if I even pronounced that correctly. In China, just many of them just has a pretty skin with a fancy logo on top. So that tells you that the reliability actually is become not really a concern. If you stick with something that is known brand like J-bow, J-Cart, or Higer. So if something that show up on Amazon called hydropower, that never exists before. Oh, forget it. So, because there is something interesting in China, there is knockoff of J-Bow. Can you believe that? Yeah. Seriously,
there's a knockoff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The AliExpress special.
So what I will
there is a big love. There is a lot of love for the Gecko, though. To be fair,
yeah,
and, you know,
yes.
I've used it, and I mean the only sorry to butt in, but the only sort of comment I will give on that stuff is the power lead that goes into the controller box. It's always sparking, and that concerns me.
Oh, actually, you always do that.
Yeah.
The reason is that you are not supposed to disconnect the power from that point.
Right,
if you want to disconnect the power, you should pull the plug from the wall.
No, I get that, but sometimes I've turned them off at the wall, and there's still charge in the power brick.
Yes.
The inverter or whatever it is.
Yeah, but it won't spark.
Well,
if you pull it from the wall.
Yeah.
If you pull it from the controller.
I don't lick on it. Trust me, I've got plenty of things. but
it doesn't damage the equipment or anything. So for some reason that the power brick will still be charged after you disconnect from the wall.
Yeah.
That you see the green light still light up that's pretty normal. And when you disconnect the power adapter from the controller, that spark is also pretty normal.
Yeah, I always find that the connection, though, gotta be careful what I'm showing you, fingers. The connection with the the AC, whatever it is, or DC, whatever. Sorry, the going in to the box.
Yeah.
Try that. It's always that sort of starts to like corrode or oxidize a little bit, and the connection can have an issue, and then the whole pump just doesn't work. You have to twist.
It's not quite a snug fit, is it?
No,
it's not a snug fit like the others.
That is why. Yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
So with like the Jibao stuff, I need to give it another go, because I wrote it off years ago, because every Jibao power head I got, it wasn't necessarily the power head that was shit. It was the magnets would blow and swell up, and I just stopped using them because of that.
Yeah.
But
so there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So for many of the magnet, the rotor, so the rotor is supposed to be held up by two shoes, ceramic shoes on each end. So if the rotor chamber is does not have anything to get into it, the rotor will spin freely, but not touching the chamber. Then the two ceramic shoes, that's where the contact point is. But just like in any saltwater tank, things can get inside the chamber. When the chamber get inside chamber, then especially what happens is that there will be friction of that rotor. When that happens, the rotor heats up. When it heats up, because it's rotating at such a high speed, that it will causing to crack and expand. So if you maintain that chamber clean, and that normally does not happen. It can happen to any rotor, especially DC power pump. The reason for that is that I should take it back. Especially for AC power head, the rotor expand. That's a very common issue. The reason for that is that the controller of any DC power head these days, if they sense the rotor has any restriction, it will shut off the power.
Yeah.
So but on the AC, the directly on the wall kind of thing, it will keep spinning, constant spinning. Even though that you get heat up, expand, it won't stop. So that is a good thing that for all the DC equipment, I change every single pump except the calcium reactor feed pump, which I really need the Eheim, the very robust, reliable, and has enough force to push through the calcium media. Except that Eheim pumps as a calcium reactor feed pump, everything else is DC driven. Because that on all the DC pump, return pump, power head, they all have this fundamental function. Is if they sense there's any leakage of electricity, or the spinning has any resistance, you shut it off. That is a function that is so critical. And that is the function that let you sleep at night. And also that is the function of it can be pretty inexpensive for DC equipment. For example, I saw an interview of a fancy manufacturer. Okay, they were talking about.
Are they going to get named?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to speak a name because they are pretty good on the industrial side. Okay. So what happened is that they were saying about they use 12-volt DC instead of the 20-volt DC. The reason for that is that the leakage of 20-volt DC actually in Europe can be considered hazardous. So they have to use 12-volt DC. So when they use 12-volt DC, so that means the amperage, the current become really big. So they need to use a very big and specialized power cable to go into their power head. That's at the cost of. But think about it this way, even this is 24-volt DC, and the controller, if the controller sense any leakage, it will shut off the power anyway. Yeah, so there is really no reason to go to the 12-volt DC, end up adding the cost of the power cable into the whole unit. So that is one thing about how this inexpensive manufacturer can produce this product so inexpensively, because that 24-volt power supply is so common. It's all about the cost is directly associated with the production volume and how common an equipment is used outside of this hobby. Our hobby is a tiny.
Yeah. Well, you were talking to me. You were talking to me last night about lighting, weren't you? Sorry for a slight tangent here, but you were talking to me about lighting and the components within lighting, which I would never have thought about. So, what just repeat, if you don't mind, for the benefit of the viewers watching at home. What was it you were saying? You were explaining about the LEDs versus the controller, because I was talking about the Radeon that I'd got in the garage, which was so it's a knockoff, second-hand, absolute piece of well, no, it's not a piece of that. It's been a nightmare programming it because it thinks it's in Beijing at the minute, and I'm having to tell it what percentage light to turn on in Beijing. Because it won't accept the UK light setting no matter what I do. So is anybody watching that's got one of these, get in touch with it, because it's nearly gone in the bin. But it actually looks like, in terms of lighting, when it's working, stuffed happy. So it must be doing something right.
Okay, so what Tom and I was talking about is a Radeon knockoff light from China. Yeah. So that knockoff light is called A like Apple, 8 like number 8, something like that.
A8 SE. A8 SE.
Yeah, A8 SE. So that light actually become very popular because that is very inexpensive.
Yep.
But it looks exactly like a Radeon XR30. And you go to a certain extent that the component can be interchanged. So if you look at the YouTube channel called Kalamazoo Reefer, something like that, if I remember correctly, he has more detail about that, this Radeon knockoff light. He be able to swap the lens using the Radeon lens put onto this Chinese knockoff, and he be able to fit the Radeon's the tank mount to this clone. So first of all, people normally what I hear from this hobby is that people say, "Oh, those are illegal, those are knockoff, those are just patent violation." Actually, well, here I have to put on some disclaimer first. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a patent attorney, but from my pharmaceutical career, I read a lot of patents. And also that I'm a sucker for patents. I love to read patents. I like to read between the lines. That's my part of my training, because that when you work at a pharmaceutical industry, when you're doing drug discovery, you want to patent bust other people. So that is part of the game. Okay. So I'm a sucker of reading patents. So first thing first, there is no patent on LED's design. There's only one fundamental patent by Philips. They patented the idea of using LED for aquarium. So that means that every manufacturer, theoretically, legally, for every dollar of profit they make, they have to give 5 cents to Philips. That is the patent. So, but for individual LED design,
5%. Sorry, Dong, isn't it?
5%. That's a 5%. I don't know what if they change or not, but last time I checked, it's 5%. It's pretty big, actually, 5% of profit. So here's the thing: there is no patent on any LED in our hobby. Radion has no patent. AI has no patent. Mass spec has no patent. Nobody be able to have a patent on the LED. And there's two types of patent. One is utility patent. That means that, I'm going to use this LED for aquarium use. That's a utility patent. That is the patent that really enforce. But then you can also file another type of patent. They call the design patent. So, for example, Ecotech can file a patent and said, hey, the look of this Radion is unique. We filed a patent of this look of this LED light, so nobody can copy it. But unfortunately, I do not see, or if I miss anything, there is no design patent for that Radion light design. So theoretically, anybody on this face of planet and can build exactly look like something exactly look like a Radion. That's fine. But if this is ethical, that's an entirely different story. Because sometimes that when you look so close to your competitors, it down to the interchangeable lens, interchangeable part, that goes a little bit too far.
Yeah.
But here is one important thing. You buy the knockoff, but does not mean you get the Radion experience.
Yeah.
I was going to say
guess
that.
what?
So
I know.
Yeah, you do not have the Radion experience. What exactly is the Radion experience? It's not about how the light come out from the light, which in my personal opinion, it sucks. So that the whole design is terrible. It's really not good for the little box with the long strip of the dial that spread the light everywhere with such a horrible part, all that kind of thing. No, it's not. But the Radion experience actually is on your smartphone. Hey, look at my puppy.
Yeah.
That's my puppy's. That's my golden retriever experience. So it's the app. Is the Mobius. Of course, that the Mobius will wake you up at night to turn on the Radion. That's a different experience.
Yeah.
In general, the Mobius is actually pretty nice. When I get used to it, it's pretty nice software. Starting from that, recognize the light to program it. Also, that you can use the Mobius to program AI. That's pretty good. But that is the experience.
Yeah.
You're buying. And also the customer service.
Oh yeah, the customer service.
Yeah, the customer service
is brilliant. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah. So I try to call up this HSE. I don't think you can even find a phone number or actually a human over there to. So if you have a problem setting up your light, you call China. Say, hey, how do I set up this light? First of all, you don't have the number. So, and also if you have the number, whatever, there's no person there. So what you're paying for is the software and the experience and also the customer service. That's what you're paying for, the Radion experience. So now if you look at the LED lights, the cost of manufacturing LED light, I'm not talking about the sales price. So there's a huge amount of profit built in on every LED light, most of them, the premium one. So the LED dial is not the major cost of this fixture. Yeah, I can see the comment Mobius. So I usually have my Radion turn on at midnight, and sometimes that the whole schedule flip. I said, what the heck? This is not really good experience. But in general, that I think they fix it. Hopefully,
I can't imagine anything worse than an angry Dong. And I know people are going to be laughing at that, thinking of completely different innuendos. So, but it is fine.
So now, when we're talking about the LED chips, the diodes in all this premium light, none of them are proprietary. Because all these chips, like made by Osram, made by Creek, made by Philips, made by Bridgelux, they just purchase the chips and then solder them on a motherboard. And soldering LED chip on motherboard is not a patentable idea, practice. This is not proprietary at all. So, and normally, those are, if you said you have 108 diodes on that little panel, how much it actually costs for that panel. So it depends on how much LED chips you buy and how's your labor cost and how's your machine cost to automatically solder them. I can tell you that probably is less than $1 per LED chip, even though at the maximum things.
Wow.
So actually, when I talk to some LED manufacturer, you can as cheap as 10 cents per LED chips. So in that $1,000 light, the LED panel is not the major cost at all. But that panel is responsible for the most critical function is lighting the reef, because the spectrum, the longevity of the diode, the intensity, the part, that's the most critical thing.
Yeah,
now
for me, it's the for me. Sorry, Don. For me, it's the software is obviously got to be good, but once it's set,
correct.
I very rarely change it.
Set and forget.
Yes, set and forget.
Or try and set it and throw it in the bin, I was so close, because it cost me £85, £90 second hand, and obviously somebody paid more to bring it into the country, and I can genuinely feel their frustration with setting it up. They obviously thought, this is a pile of crap, so I'll get rid of it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll have it. And then I was like, yeah, this is a pile of crap. But patience is a virtue, as they say. And I've got it working, and it is really, really good. But the software, which you're talking about, sorry to put in again, is dog shit.
Yeah, yes. So that is because that in this $1,000 Radeon light, the expensive component, if it's not the most expensive component, is the software and the controller board.
Yeah,
that is what's important. And plus the cloud server and all that kind of thing. The software, the experience actually is on the software side. It's not on the physical, the light. So that is why when you're purchasing a premium LED light, and you are basically purchasing an experience. But as a vendor, so because I'm a vendor, I can see, I do sell LED light. I can see how important the initial setup is. For example, yesterday, let me grab something.
Oh, it's not. Oh, hang on, it's not on your desk. That's not. We've not rehearsed this one, have we?
He's going to come back with a box like this now.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a mass spec.
Yes.
MJ blah 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 165. So it's a beautiful LED light when it works. It's beautiful. It's a very nice spectrum. It's very good. Yeah, you look. I can think of it as a mini Stratton. That's beautiful. But this light was returned to me yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, because the user interface, the customer just cannot set this one up. The reason for that is that you just failed to talk to his router.
Yes.
Yeah, but you talk to my router.
Oh, right. Well,
he doesn't talk to his router.
I can't really comment. I'm not a router counselor, but what I can say is that so I couldn't get the AA in the garage to connect to my Wi-Fi. So just not that anybody's interested, but I'll just say anyway. So my router is in my house. The AA light, or the Radeon copy, whatever you want to call it, is in the garage, which is about 5-6 meters away, something like that. And so, but I've got boosters. So I've got like a Wi-Fi booster for the router for the garage, because obviously I've had other equipment in there that needs a Wi-Fi connection. I need to program it. So I put one in there, would not connect at all. And I spent, and I mean, when I say this was like, yeah, one of those moments. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yes. Yes.
And they're that difficult to deal with that somebody on Reef to Reef kindly enough wrote a bit of, because you buy this light, right? And I know I bought it second-hand off eBay, but again, somebody bought it in from China, brand new, but it was still a few £100. It wasn't exactly, throwaway money. And the instructions you get from it, and I'm not exaggerating, it's like something that came out of a Christmas cracker. There's nothing, right? There is nothing. For something compared to £1,000 unit that you get a full, you might be able to download a tutorial or whatever. There's nothing. So this person, kindly enough on Reef to Reef, put a tutorial together, which was really helpful. It still didn't work. And then I remembered what you're talking about with routers. And I can remember a long time ago, I can't remember what piece of reefing equipment it was, but I had the same issue with something. And I had to create a guest network on my router for this one single piece of equipment to connect to. Yeah. And the minute I did it, it connected. First time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, what on earth is going wrong? So, and I do not see myself as anybody technologically minded, but I was just like, I had that. Oh, I remember when I had this similar problem with something else, and I did it, and I didn't expect it to work, and it connected straight away, and I was like, oh my God! But why this have to be so difficult? I do not know.
Yeah. So yesterday, when the customer brought this back when it was the dinner time. Okay, so I have this thing sitting on my desk using his phone. Just no matter what, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it does connect to my router. So and then I gave him AI Hydra 32 using his phone, Bluetooth. It takes less than a minute. Boom, everything set up. He's happy. He carried that Hydra away, and this has become mine now. Yeah. So you see, this is the experience you are talking about. Is you are paying for the experience, the software, and the controller board. So for the budget reefing, if you have the patience, then you can solve this problem. And just like Tom, that the A8 SE will become a perfect light after you figure out how to work.
Yeah, it's great, but it's like it will not save, as I said earlier, it will not save the UK time. So I think there's a 7-hour difference. I can't remember what it is, plus or minus 7 hours. There's a 7-hour difference. So I've had to. So my the T5. So I've got the ATI T5 hybrids on the top coral tray, grow out tray in the garage. They come on about 9-10 o'clock ish. The LEDs come on, and then T5. Well, one set of T5 comes on about, I think it's about 11 o'clock, and then one at 12, and then it ramps up till about sort of 6 o'clock or whatever. So I've had to go into the garage at whatever time the T5 start to come on, and get the app out, connect to the light, and basically tell the light that whatever time it thinks it is in Beijing, it needs to then start to ramp up. So I've had to I had to write down on a scrap of paper, what time Beijing equals to UK time, so I can then program it based on Beijing, because it will not, no matter what I do. But to start with, it was just flashing, which meant that it wasn't connected, because then it's solid. It was just flashing constantly. So then, for about 2 weeks, since I got it delivered, I had to keep turning it on and off manually. So in the morning, before I went to work, I turned it on. When I went to bed, I turned it off, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. This should work, So then I then thought, well, I'll connect to it. Couldn't connect to it. It was the router, as you say. But yeah, it still wouldn't accept UK time. So I've programmed. So it thinks it's in Beijing. So the light's on when the light shouldn't be on in Beijing or whatever. But I found a way around it. Like you say, is it worth it? For me, because I got it second hand for such a low price, yes, it is. Because, at the minute, we're talking about reefing on a budget. My tanks cost me way too much, and it's something I really am looking at the minute in cutting back, which we're going to go on to in a bit in tonight's show. But yeah, it's you're right. It's swings and roundabouts a little bit.
Yes.
You get what you pay for, I suppose, is what we say in the UK.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Go ahead.
Don't honestly. It's But because it's got a halide setting, and I wanted to save the halide setting. No, what have the halide setting? So I've had to look at the halide setting, write the percentages down, and then programming it on that. Anyway, yeah. But you're right in what you said about the RMS rail. It slides straight on. It gets on. It fits spider, fits everything. And to anybody that doesn't know really what they're looking for, other than it says AS8 sticker on the side of it, if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, they look absolutely identical. Yeah. Down to the screw size and the.
Well, but it's funny you should say that because when I went to put it on the spider, I had a thought that I wonder if they were really sneaky, sort of like Austin Powers moment, and they changed the thread size, so you had to buy, or they changed the spacing of the holes, so you had to buy a different spider or whatever you want to call it, attachment for the RMS rail. But no, everything's in line.
No, everything go right in. Yeah. So that is one thing about that for the budget. So you need to evaluate if any extra patient, extra tweaking actually worth your time. That's on the lighting side. But on the weight maker, power head side, that's an entirely different story. So basically, you can see this guy.
Oh, hang on, let me throw it on the screen. What you got there?
Yeah, that is.
This is tonight's special guest.
Yeah, that's a west side.
Oh, Liam
that's not
absolutely wetting his pants right now watching this.
All right,
and I'm sure he's texting Leonardo's Reef as well.
The Jack on MP40.
Yeah, that's exactly like MP40, and it functions like MP40. It looks like MP40. And the controller of it is not shabby at all. It's Bluetooth. Yeah, you program whatever the MP40 can do. But of course, you cannot control by Mobius. Yeah. So now here's the thing. This power head receiving quite a bit of controversy for J-Bow. So J-Bow is well known to be knockoff, okay? And the question is that, of course, I have to say I'm not a patent attorney, but there is so many rumors flying around on the internet, on the live stream from many people. Say, oh, J-Bow has a patent. No, but Ecotech has a patent. No, that patent violation, there all that kind of thing flying around. We want to put it on arrest. But I'm not a patent attorney. Everything is just for fun, for shit and giggle here. So, all right. So then the J-Bow is known for patent infringement. That is the common sense. So if I dig it up on the internet, how many times it actually infringe on patent and also get cease and desist, whatever letter, something like that, and get reported. So first of all, I'm not working for J-Bow. I do not know anybody in J-Bow. I'm just a user of their products. Okay. So in the August 26th, okay, so the J-Bow received 2 complaints. One in 2015. This is funny. Hydor, the Italian maker, so suing J-Bow for against the infringement of their weight maker. So people say, oh yeah, which part they J-Bow infringe on them, on Hydor? Okay, I happen to have a very old J-Bow magnet here. You see, this magnet has a little piece of rubber, like a suction cup. Okay, Hydor complained that suction cup is their proprietary technology. A suction cup plus the magnet is infringing on Hydor's right to mount your power head on the wall. Okay, that's the first case. This is J-Bow's answer. No suction cup. You don't need it. Why do you? I don't understand why people even want this thing. So right now, every J-Bow has no suction cup. So Hydor out of the door. Okay.
Can I have a quick moan? Sorry, because I'm known for my moans.
Yeah.
J-Bow or Jacquard, whichever one it is.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
And same thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got like a reefing dad who's joining the network. Thanks, Dom. Like my reefing dad corrected me. They've got these rubber grommets that sit between the power head and then the magnet. They are, it might be just me.
Pain in the butt.
They are, yeah, thank you.
Oh, terrible.
They should be glued in. Why are they not glued in? Because they come off and then you'd lose them. And then it's like, you find them randomly and you're like, oh, I need to put that there because next time, do you understand what I mean? People watching, I'm sure you know what I mean. It's like a little, I don't know what you call it. Like
the little grommet that basically is a vibration damper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a vibration damper. Those are pain in the butt to work with. Once it come off, it's almost impossible to snap them back in.
Yes.
So my solution is zip tie. I just remove all of them and zip tie the whole together.
Oh, so you right. So you put the zip tie through it.
Yeah, through it. Zip tie through a tiny zip tie through it. So those are really terrible. But for matter of fact, that Tunzi, they have the same thing, same idea. Those little feet, they come off too. So, so the second time that J-Bao get send a letter and file a complaint is actually is 2000. Let's see, 2015 by Massback for the gyro pump. Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes. But back then, the Massback's patent was not granted. It's just a patent application. So nobody give a shit about the patent application. Seriously, right? This is on the Reefers network, so I can use some little bit more bold language, right?
Just be colorful. It's Friday. Okay. Let your hair down.
So back then, they filed this complaint. Of course, it does nothing due to that. That's just a patent application. But I have to say, back in August 1st, 2017, the Massback's patent actually being granted in US and in Europe. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So right now they can officially complain about it. But interestingly, things just drop off the earth.
Yeah, it's a bit late now. You've got to feel sorry for Maxspec because they're the first brand to bring out the gyro type pump, which is great.
Yes.
And it flows amazing. But now Red Sea do one, AI do one, the Orbit, Jabal do one. It's got the horse is bolted, isn't it? It's too late for them to.
Yes, and also that is something to do with Jake Adams too. I think that Jake Adams is responsible to work with Massback to come up with the gyro pump. Yeah. So, but then there's something, just hypothetically, I'm thinking, hypothesis why Massback doesn't do anything. Because that the Massback gyro definitely is much more robust than J-Bao gyro. Seriously. In terms of the construction, in terms of the software.
What about price though, Dong? Where do we stack the
price? The price is, okay, here's an interesting thing about the price. So Massback is a Hong Kong company. It's a Chinese company. J-Bao is a Chinese company. Both are Chinese company. They manufacture in Shenzhen, China, the same city. So last time I checked. The price difference is not that outrageous for between J-Bao versus the Massback. So right now the Massback has two the gyro pump, the latest addition. The Massback gyro pump is a 330 and 350. FX 330 and FX 350.
350.
So I personally actually have this. I get the smaller one. So it's a smaller form factor. That thing, if you buy the pump itself, is about $170 US, and you can put on whatever controller. The controller itself is $200. So now let's look at this $160 little pump from Massback. I actually would prefer to spend the money to buy the Massback instead of saving about $30 to $40 US to buy the similar J-Bao.
Right.
The reason is that what I found out is when I use it in person, the smaller, much smaller 330, it actually put out more flow than the 150 than the J-Bow. And also the construction is much, much better. From the magnet to the propeller to the rotor to the cage, there is a lot better.
Do you still get the flow directors with that?
Yeah, they also get a flow
them.
director that the J-Bow doesn't have. So then the cloud controller is an entirely different story. For example, that J-Bow does have is Wi-Fi controller. I can tell you that Wi-Fi controller like pulling your teeth out. So difficult to use. So right now I have a bunch of a J-Bow pump that is Wi-Fi capable, still have the red light blinking because the Wi-Fi is not set up. I'm still using the dial because it's like that. But the mass specs, the cloud controller actually quite good with the SyncG software. It's just the first time I try it, boom, you connect it. And so even though there's some price difference there, I think there's still some advantage to buy the mass spec, and also the mass spec is not really that outrageously pricing. It's not like that you spend $200 for a H SE versus $1,000. Okay.
That's why I did it. That's why I did it. I needed a light, and I was like, I don't really. I'm trying to save money, which obviously, this hobby can be it's so addictive, and it's therefore so expensive because of your addiction.
Yeah. So try and save price to pay, right?
Yeah. I mean, light's light to an extent. I know people are going to go, did he just say that? But light is light to an extent. If you've got a certain, spread, part, issue, and duration, if the cost is, if you can save on the money, save on the money. And that, I mean, Tim's in the chat here about the dosing because he's going to help me because he mixes his own, his own dosing solution. And that's the route I'm going to have to start going down. And I keep saying it every week we come on here. I still haven't done it yet. But you've just got to take the step, haven't you? A step of faith, Sometimes there's some things that you shouldn't sort of, like you said earlier, Don, you should pay more for a quality product because you're getting a quality product. But when you look at some of the money. But when you look at some of the products on the market, like you're saying, the components underneath, people know about the battery backups. It's a what is it, a wheelchair battery or something that costs like next to nothing. There's a lot of products that aren't what it's all about marketing, which is one of the biggest things that me and Drip found when we came to the States and did Reef Palooza early in the year, was it was all about marketing. And, it's how about something is sold to somebody, the dream, the whole experience, whatever. When you look at the gubbins of it, or meat and potatoes, whatever you want to call it, it is just that.
Yeah. It is also it is so important about that. What is the price gap, right?
Yeah.
So well, when you save $800,
so
I will save that. Yeah, that's worth the money, right? Yeah. So, but if you say $30 it probably doesn't worth the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So that follows on nicely to where I was going to say about my cheaper.
Can't take you seriously with that tie on, Jamie. That's what it is. Sorry, mate.
Oh, it's just newsreader. So like obviously the equipment is a big saving if you're going to go from let's say a 450 quid MP40 to 120 quid ripoff. You're saving 300 quid, but you're only buying it once. Whereas for me, the dosing, I'm spending £60 a month on dosing. If I can eliminate that, then over a year, 2 years, that's where I'm really going to save my money. So that's where I'm sort of focusing on my
talk about dosing. So what I am using, oh my God, this is
Blue Peter moment. Here's one I made earlier. Oh, hang on, let's get you on.
It's a food grade calcium chloride from Amazon.
That'll last forever.
Food grade. So I can probably spend 8 to 10 times more by buying those reefer ready calcium chloride. Yeah. So this is what I use. So look up Amazon. Is many of these additive, dosing additive for this hobby is outrageously marked up, and they're the same thing. Let me give you another example. Is that if you look at Triton's calcium reactor media, and this is not my own opinion. When Jake Adam was alive, he used to wrote an article about the Tritons, the German calcium reactor medium. Those are no different than 80 cents a pound marble chips in Home Depot. That's what it is. Yeah.
Marketing.
So, yeah. And then in terms of dosing, baking soda. Go on supermarket, buy the baking soda. They're cheap. Why do you have to use?
But I think that manufacturers, Dong, benefit on the, I suppose, scaremongering of hobbyists getting it wrong. And there's with a combination of some hobbyists, maybe it's plug and play, set and forget, pour it in. It's all says what it does on the tin, whatever. And that sort of brainwashing as a consumer sort of gets you in this mindset of, oh, buy that and it does that, buy that and it does that. And I mean, I've personally had experience with certain brands, which people know the one of my biggest frustration is that the concentration. I can remember a couple of years ago when I was dosing nitrate or phosphate in, I think it was the DT downstairs, and there were two products on the market, same price, same volume of liquid, but one was 10 times stronger than the other, but they were both the same price. But because people are sort of programmed, and I am with or have been with other things, not just reefing as a consumer, like I'm saying, you just go down that road, and it isn't until you start getting to a point where you've got either you're running out of cash or you're trying to save up for something, or you sit down and go, how much is this tank costing me? And you look at what you're spending it on and you think, well, how could I save money? And then you start going down this route of budgeting, or I wouldn't necessarily call it budgeting. I'd probably say reefing smarter, really, sometimes with certain things. And you look at the products, and there are certain products on the market that do exactly the same thing. You've found them on Amazon, Home Depot, whatever, as something on the shelf in an LFS or wherever that is 5-10 times as much. It's crazy.
Yeah, yes. Just like this is heavy. There's a approximately 4 kilogram or 6 kilogram bucket. This guy. Yeah. So then people ask me, is this better than what we can buy from those specialized reefing product? I said, yeah, of course. These are food grade product. This is a food grade calcium chloride. Anything better than that for dosing your reef? A food grade product, and it's so dirt cheap. So that is actually, you know, that bulk resupply is all started by buying bulk chemicals, selling for cheap. That's how they started. Yeah. So in terms of dosing, you're just
paying for convenience. Sorry, Dong. You're just paying for convenience, and people like that, and someone else has taken that risk for you. That it's very difficult to get it wrong if it comes in a proprietary blend, right? You're not going to blow anything up, and you're not going to really do much damage if you overdose a little bit of it. Whereas on a homemade blend, you know, they could have quite a strong product, and if it's your risk to take, is what I'm saying. You pay for that comfort, don't you, of it being done for you?
Yes and no, actually. So because the many product, let me give you one example. So a customer of mine, he come in, he said his calcium is dropped to the bottom, and alkalinity is through the roof, and he was using a pair of this product that he bought from a local fish store. Supposed to be okay, right? So then I test his the calcium additive. It basically is all degraded. The reason for that is that those products were sitting on the shelf for God knows how many years. Right. There's no expiration date on it. Yeah, so when people buy those kind of things, it's actually much easier and more sure than doing this. And also that's why this the Randy's 2-part recipe. This is not rocket science. You're just scooping out this thing, wait it out, dissolve in water, and simple as that. But another important thing is that it does not need to be that precise when you're mixing this dosing solution. If a little bit higher concentration, a little bit lower concentration, it won't break the tank. So because one important thing is that when we're doing the calculation of dosing, we do not know exactly how many gallons our tank's water is. It's an estimate. So since this is an estimate, when we're making the dosing solution, if it's a few percent more concentrate or less concentrate, it doesn't make much difference, because you still have to recalculate, test and recalculate and adjust your dose.
Well,
anyway.
you've just took the words out of my mouth. You talk about testing and recalculating. So if somebody's going to do this, which again, as I keep saying, and I will stand my ground on this one, I am going to do it on the DT. When I start to do it, and Tim, who's in the comments, is already offered to help me because he's done it and he's had amazing success. He's got great SPS tanks. Is it fair? Would it be fair for you to agree with me that what you save for the first few months, you are going to spend on ICPs to kind of dial it in a little bit to your tank, because you are playing a little bit. You're clearly going to disagree with me. You've got to get it dialed in to an extent, your concoction or your percentages, your mixture.
Because I'm talking about a major element. The major element like the calcium, magnesium, and alkalinity. That's
which you can test, obviously.
Yeah, you can test at home.
I'm talking about the minor one, your minor trace.
Oh no! Don't mix your own trace element. If you mix your own trace element, you are going in trouble. The problem is that when you mix trace element, you need the precision analytical scale.
Well, some of them don't get on. Some of them don't get on with each other as well, as we know.
Yes and no, but most of them get along with each other. Most of them, 99% of them get along each other. So when a vendor tells you, okay, you cannot mix them together, they just want you to buy individual bottles for more money. That's what it is. So, but for example, that if you do not have a $3,000 analytical scale at home, don't try to mix your own trace element. Very likely, you will overdose your tank. So that's the important thing. Yeah. Seriously, do not try to mix the trace element at lower concentration at home. And when you look at those analytical balance, the scales, they even have glass shield on each side. So there's no air movement inside the chamber. Is that precise? Because you need to measure out milligram, microgram, and put it into a 1 gallon jug, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so, and the calcium manganalc is the one that you're going to use the most of, so you're going to see the biggest saving quickest, aren't you? I guess.
Yes.
It's going to last quite a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's your milk, bread, and eggs in your household, basically, isn't it? That's your core sort of.
That's a core thing. That the major consumption. Yeah. So those things that you definitely should mix it yourself, because that by doing that you actually ensure the concentration is sort of okay. Because I have seen so many commercial products that doesn't pan out. The lack of quality control. Even you buy it, you do not buy a peace of mind at all, at least in US. So some brand actually pretty popular one day. No. So actually one time I was selling my own. So really? I mix my own. Yeah, I sell them to the general public, but I stopped doing that because I taught those people how to make them, and then you just choke my own business to death.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I end up. So at the beginning, I sell them pre-mixed solution they can use right away, and then eventually, of course, that this is not something that I try to make money out of. And I changed to sell them the pre-weighed pouches. For example, a pouch of calcium chloride and a pouch of baking soda. So it's all pre-weighed. They just need to dump it into the gallon jugs. Yeah. So when people start doing that, and very soon, they don't feel that intimidating by waiting out their own. So in that case, that I sold them big bags of them. Sold them. Okay, here's 2 pounds of calcium chloride, 2 pounds of baking soda, and then after that, and I send them links to buy this reagent from Amazon. There's seriously no point for me to sell this because you can.
So if somebody's making their own salt water, which I think is probably an indicator of.
You mean an actual salt mix?
Yeah. So if somebody's making their own salt mix at home, so that's because in the UK there's a lot of hobbyists that will go to a LFS, they'll go to a shop to buy salt to do a water change and RO water. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If somebody's at the point as a hobbyist where they've invested the money of a good RO DI machine, and they're mixing their own salt, so they're already mentally on that path of mixing things. What advice would you? And this, I'm not just separating those people, but those people are more likely to do what you're saying. Is what I'm trying to get at. What advice would you give them in terms of doing the mixing their own sort of solution?
Oh, to build your own salt, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Advice are very simple.
Don't mix their own salt. I mean, the people that are mixing their own salt are already mixing things, so they are more likely to start mixing their own calcium, magnesium.
Okay.
As opposed to buying a bottle off the shelf, because everybody's lifestyle's different, and some people don't have the time or whatever with families to probably do what you're saying. But some people may have that, and they may be interested in that, and they want to save a little bit of money, which might help a little bit. What advice would you give them?
So do whatever you feel comfortable, because the very important thing is that this is a hobby. A hobby involving that if you the most important thing about hobby is that do you have time to enjoy the hobby, or do you enjoy the hobby? So if the too many chores and labor, this become a burden.
Correct. I know that.
Yeah. So if I'm in a hurry, I don't have that much time, I can just click on Amazon and buy a pair of ESV calcium and alkalinity additives and toss on the dosing pump, so I can spend more time to look at my coral or play with the kids and take care of the cats and dogs, that kind of thing. But if I feel making my own calcium solution and the alkalinity solution become part of the hobby, why not doing that, right? So basically, it's whatever you feel like doing. This is a hobby. This is not a work. This is not something to save the world or anything. This is a freaking hobby. So don't do anything that you do not like. Don't do anything that you do not feel comfortable. So spend the money to make yourself feel comfortable. For example, that if I don't feel comfortable to make my own homemade frozen food, go out and buy some, because that's what will bring you joy, bring you happiness. Doesn't give you any burden. So as a hobby, you shouldn't give you burden. So any money can ease the burden. It's a good way to do it. Because
if it gives you a burden, I always say this: if it becomes a chore, you're not going to do it. If you don't do it, you'll have problems. And I've experienced that. Still,
but if you love to do that, why not?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, because people like to glue the PVC pipe in multiple colors. That's their enjoyment. Do it. And
you know how I see the sorry, Dong. You know how I see the mixing up of my own dosing solutions, which I am going to start with the 8-foot tank, because just for economies of scale and saving money. What's the best thing we all like as reef keepers? What's one of the best things we do? For me, it's feeding, right? And watching your fish eat, watching your fish grow, and that satisfaction you get from keeping them alive and growing corals and fattening corals and that sort of stuff. So I see that mixing my own tracer and mixing my own buffer solution and stuff as an extension of that feedback loop. So like, if I can keep fish alive by feeding them, they all look good, it's going to be even more satisfying that my corals are growing on stuff I'm making for them. For me, it's like that's the next successful step in my reefing journey is going to be doing that and learning.
Then you should do it
about all that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, not just for the money saving thing, but more for these animals rely on me already, and now they're going to be relying on me even more. And when I see them growing, I'm going to get that satisfaction of I'm actually pretty fucking good at this, and it will be good, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Because what I found out is that many times we forget this is a hobby. If you look
to me, it is a full-time job. And I've got a job, believe it or not. All jokes aside.
So as a hobbyist, you should really enjoy. Do the thing that you enjoy doing. So, for example, if $800 is really not an issue for you, it's a easy disposable income. Why bother with Chinese-made cologne of the Ecotech, right? Just spend the money, write a check, or swipe your credit card and get a full Radion. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it depends.
So, but then if $800 is an important figure, So otherwise, you're going to eat ramen noodle for the rest of the month. So in that case, yeah, it makes more sense to save that money, right? Or your wife, you're going to whack your head and let you sleep in the garage after you spend $800. Then just don't spend it and stick with your Beijing time.
Oh, honestly, it was. I just thought, well, how, when you get to a point, and I was just like, I'll give in now. I can't keep going in every day, turning on and off, on and off, on and off. And I was just like, how can I get it to work with me? And I was like, I know. I'm just going to let it pretend it's in Beijing. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that works. So it does the job. That's all it takes.
Exactly.
So, back to this thing.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yes.
So if you're bear with me the pattern saying, I'm going to talk about some geeky stuff.
Okay.
Geeky stuff. Okay.
You're on big screen, Dong. Take it on.
This is the Ecotex pattern. Okay. Ecotex pattern is filed on March 16, 2006. That means that this pattern is going to expire. This is a US pattern. So it's going to expire next year. Okay. So now, after this patent expire, theoretically, everybody can make whatever they want. Okay. But now, here's coming important, interesting thing. So fact number one, Ecotech does have a patent. Yes. So people shouldn't infringe on this patent. But here's the thing. The core technology called the magnetic coupling. That means that the magnet inside the dry side, the magnet inside the wet side, when this side rotate, that side rotate, right? That's a magnetic coupling. I do not think that the magnetic coupling is a patentable idea because it was patented in 1960s something for magnetic coupling. But there is a trick to gain a patent. It's called a patent busting. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but from my point of view, just for shits and giggles, okay. Now, how this pattern actually can get this pattern is there is a sentence in here. It says the second casing, which means is this guy is detachable, okay, and you can connect to the dry side. Is that solely by magnetic attraction. That means that you can connect together solely, only by magnetic attraction can hold it together.
Right.
That is the key word for this pattern. That means that without any assistance, this thing can connect together by itself, by just the magnetic force.
Mm-hmm.
Just from my non-professional opinion, without that sentence, this patent cannot be granted because the magnetic coupling is a prior art. That means it's been invented before. But with these two things, goes to a wall, but can hold itself together only by magnetic coupling. That's what this pattern is about. So I see a comment there. Yes, you are absolutely correct. The suction cup. So theoretically, non-professional opinion, do not quote me, and I'm not a lawyer. I have to say all this. This suction cup actually held the thing together.
That's actually an improvement on the original.
Yes, it's not only the improvement, yet theoretically, in my own unprofessional opinion, you get away with the patent. But don't quote me on that. I'm not a patent attorney. But just because of that, because now this J-ball pump is not solely held together by magnetic attraction.
But you're not a patent attorney, but you are a patent, a patent. I don't know what to call you. But you like
that's the training for pharmaceutical industry.
Okay.
When you're doing drug discovery, it's patent busting. Okay, now here comes the thing. Why I do not use Ecotech MP pumps? There's a reason for that. Oh, here's the thing. Well, let me give you one
not that bad
actual story.
I've got two on there.
So I have customer come in here to look at coral. Many years ago, I have an MP10 hanging on the wall. The customer has a kid. He woke up there, plucked us off.
Well,
That's what happened.
I hope you threw the kid in the tank or got rid of it.
No, he's too heavy for me to lift up. Otherwise, I throw him in the tank. So now this is
American.
Thing number one. Yeah, typical. After you fed him hamburger and you toss him in the tank. So with this thing sticking outside for kids or other customer, I have a grown adult come here and wiggle that thing on the wall. Hey, this is funny. This is not funny. Okay, so this is
What kind of people come into your shop, Dong?
Oh no! This is basically like a big red button hanging on the tank wall. It just said,
it says don't touch. People want to touch. Okay.
If you put a don't touch sign on it, I guarantee you everybody will touch it. So that is one of the reason of that. I don't use this pump. Second reason, when this pump, the Ecotech pump is solely magnetically held together.
Yeah.
I found snail will nudge the wet side. So the whole thing misaligned. And you grind down the bearing on the dry side.
Yeah. This is on the MP40, not the jet.
Yeah, the MP40. Yeah. But this suction cup actually solved the problem. Because when this suction cup was stuck outside, it's really tight. A kid cannot pull it off. Yeah, seriously, pretty strong. And then with the suction cup inside, if a big Mexican turbo walk around, it won't be able to nudge the wet side, so it won't misalign. Once this misalign, and then the dry side axle, the bearings start to grind down, then you come with all this noise.
One of my historical issues, if it is an issue, or me being stupid, probably the latter, with MP40s, has always been the grid, the mesh, vibrating slowly off, and then it throws it off, and then you've got a reef tank sort of chopping machine that fish or anything daft enough can swim into, which has always been a bugbear of mine. So,
and thing number two, actually, one thing I can see this is less expensive, fits our topic of budget reefing, and also there's an improvement. Not only the suction cup. Look at this. This is water seal on the MP40 size dry side. This is water seal. At least when you splash water on it, it doesn't get inside. Go look at your MP40 dry side. If you mount it on a rimless tank, if the water creak out, it damages your dry side.
Yeah.
That happened to me personally. Back many years ago, I have a MP40 on a rimless tank. And sometimes the rimless tank, the fish will splash water, or sometimes the water splash and you drip on top of the sink and you get inside the motor. Then I send the motor back to Ecotech. The first thing I received said it's not covered by warranty because it has water damage.
So they think you've put that in your tank, obviously.
Yeah. So then the question is that you should use this thing. I was talking to that tech back many years ago. He said, well, you probably shouldn't put it on a rimless tank. I said, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
So now that's another reason I do not use the MP40. But when you look at this J-Card's thing, it looks like it's a rubber seal. I don't see any gap on it. Okay.
What's the cost on one of those then?
About $110 from AliExpress.
Can we get that?
You know how much this cost?
Oh, right.
Yeah. This is $30.
What, for a replacement wet side?
Yeah, replacement wet side, $30. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have a bunch of
wet side will fit onto a real MP40. Will it work on the?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, yes, have you tried it?
Yes, you will. It spins. It works. And also, easier thing. I take MP40 wet side. He walked on this thing.
Oh, we should have planned better here. We should have done this live, Dong. This is what we kind of normally try and do. We need to do that. We need to do a video.
But do it on your own risk, okay? But
yeah,
when I try it,
your own warranty as well.
No. Oh, seriously, it could be. There's another thing is that potentially why this thing is cheaper, because I can see that the magnet inside this one actually is thinner.
All right. So it's
because
material,
now, less material, because that now this pump is no longer required to hold itself together by magnetic force only. You got freaking suction cups.
Yeah,
See, so this can be a lot cheaper. That piece of magnet is so expensive. So, and also that there's one complaint about this is about how difficult to open this piece of wet side to clean it. Guess what? For $30, why should I clean it? Here you go. Just toss it and get a new one. Yeah, but with all this said, you cannot run this on Mobius.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah, of course. That if you're an MP40 fan, continue to use whatever you like because this is a hobby.
But maybe if you've invested a lot of money in the MP40s and you've got a big tank or you've got corals that have grown out and you want to add more flow at a reduced price, that might be an option for you.
Oh yeah, it's always an option. And because that I have a stack of MP40 wet side because I used to have that. I bought a lot of spare. So it's a good option to use, but definitely right now it's not selling on Amazon, so you only can buy from AliExpress, and the pattern issue is not absolutely clear. But there is no complaint from Ecotech toward J-Bow. That's do a Google search and then talk about the J-Bow's patent complaint. They haven't received one. Maybe after we said that, it was
we haven't got any legal representatives. So if anyone else can give us any free advice in the comments, please get in touch.
Yeah, this is shit and giggle. So this is not legal advice. This is just a bunch of reefer talking crap. So think about this way. It's
nothing to do with us. Tom's channel.
It's exactly. Anyway,
I won't hesitate to use this. But I will not, as a vendor, I don't want to sell this in US. Seriously, God knows what's going. But as an end user, and by the way, I didn't buy this brand new anyway. I bought them used.
You're as bad as me. What's the functionality? I know the people who will have watched people doing review videos on YouTube, whatever, unboxing. What's the settings like? What do you get compared to the Mobius?
Yeah, the setting actually is Bluetooth.
Oh, really?
It comes with an app. Yeah. So here's
you can't connect to.
Oh no, it's very easy because it's Bluetooth.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, when that's why, in my personal opinion, everything should be Bluetooth. Because why you want Wi-Fi? The best benefit of Wi-Fi is you are be able to adjust your pump, adjust your line when you're in Disneyland. But why the heck do you want to do that? You only adjust all this equipment. You should only adjust any of the equipment when you're standing in front of the tank. Yeah. Oh, I saw a comment. SLW pumps are good. More like Nero knockoff. Okay, that's segue to our next size. I'm going to answer this freaking question. That's SLW pump. I prepare for this.
Would you do some planning, Melinda?
SLW pump come before Nero.
Okay.
That's the answer. So the first generation of Nero pump actually is exactly identical as SLW, but it comes later than the SLW. So there's no patent about this. I don't think I searched J-Bow has zero patent. They don't care, or they actually this thing is not patentable to begin with.
Well, I think I had a customer that has got nothing to do with reefing, right? A manufacturing customer okay, and they manufacture equipment for camper vans and caravans, okay, the leisure industry, okay, which America, Australia, and their biggest sort of markets. They went to China, okay, to give them with their product that was patented, that was legit, and asked for them to give them an alternative or a cheaper way of manufacturing it. They copied it, changed one thing, and then absolutely took their market of this piece of equipment. So they went to China for help. They went to China for help to try and save money, and it ended up nearly closing the factory.
Yes, that happened actually multiple times, many times actually. And look at Tesla, the poor Tesla, what happened, and the electric car and the intellectual property stolen. It happened all the time. Yeah. But I don't think the SLW is one of these cases at all.
Okay.
It's not even a cologne because it come out probably more than a year before the Nero come out.
Do you rate it? You like it?
What?
You like it?
Love it. So actually, here's a funny story. The SLW come with a different size, and one of the size is SLW 30, the pretty big one. And I was selling that well before even Nero exists, like a year before, something like that. We used to call it the MP40 killer. Back then, there's no Nero. So yeah, killer. So basically, everything is focused on the MP40. Because that the big puck of that J-Bow SLW30, it pushed quite impressive amount of water. So then, and also it's a pancake size, it's a low profile. So in that case, that's why we call it the MP40 and MP10 killer. That's what it is. And also it offers a very unique benefit. That is what comes with the J-Bow, okay? Yeah. So normally, you point MP40 on the Nero, we point straight forward. And then J-Bow come with an adapter, allow you to tilt the pump or the angle that you like. That's a major improvement over the single directional pump. So then you question about, is not all the inexpensive product from China are colognes or copies. That's for sure. And not, I don't think that the Chinese manufacturer should be equated to copycat or knockoff at all. Because MaxSpec is a Chinese company. Allfix is a Chinese company.
Yeah.
All this company has innovations. Rebreather is a Chinese company, also in UK Evergrow. Well, Rebreather is owned in US, but the manufacturing and the design, the fixture itself is by Evergrow in China. So there is plenty of innovation that happened over there. So we shouldn't look at the product where it's originated. We should look at the product if it's reliable, if it's cost effective, and if you like it or not.
And if it can do the job, if it can do the job.
Yeah, if it can do the job. Yeah. Regardless where this thing actually are made, because MaxSpec has so many innovation, and there are a Chinese company. Oh, Reef Octopus. Reef Octopus is a Chinese company. Look at their skimmers.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Oh, Reef Octopus is a Chinese company. And the funny thing is that
it's the marketing though. They do it in such a way that they like brainwash you. Yeah. So you'd never think that.
Just one day that the one guy told me, I bought this German light. They call it Allfix. I said, well, Allfix is Chinese. And that guy goes so upset. I said, is the light not performing as you expected? So no, the light is great.
Yeah, but why is there a stigma? So why is there a stigma? I mean, Emma's saying here as well, rightly so. Let's be real. Almost everything that's considered top quality is made in China. Yeah. iPhone, Android, basically everything computing. Fair point. I couldn't agree more.
The iPhone is made in China. So, but of course, there's without the Apple, the US design, that this doesn't exist. So, we should look beyond this kind of thing. And in terms of that is a $60 piece of equipment. It does its job. It's reliable. That's good enough for me.
And I think that's where you also need to get to a point where you go to yourself, well, you say to yourself, right. So I have been guilty of badge snobbery. So, Ecotech, Red Dragon, blah blah blah, because you will subconsciously think you are buying quality because of the marketing and whatever else, and you buy it. But I also think when it comes to certain characteristics or certain functions of a reef tank, and maybe anything in life that you can apply this to, not just reef tanks, if it does the job, it does the job. The question is, how long can it do the job for? How well can it do the job for?
Yes,
and therefore, how much does it cost in the long run?
And also how much do you need customer service?
True.
Yeah,
that is a major cost saving. Is that there's no customer service for the Jabo stuff. That's why, because customer service is a very expensive operation.
Jamie looks like he works in customer service right now with that tail.
I do. I should get one of Dong's little earpieces and I'll be away. That's the other things like spare parts. You can't really get spare parts for all these Chinese bits. Whereas
actually you cannot get spare part for them. But for the cost of the thing, buy two.
That's true.
But then if you buy two and it's the same price as buying one that doesn't need you to replace it, does it make much of a difference? Are you saving that much money?
But the thing is that these are actually quite reliable. So my strategy is the best thing happening is Amazon Prime.
Okay.
That thing kick the bucket. I just order Amazon Prime the next morning. The new one show up.
Yeah.
Just toss the old one.
Well, talking about new, John Wright's asking, what's your thoughts on second-hand equipment?
Second-hand equipment, yes, a toss-up. It depends on what you are buying. There's something you should never buy second-hand. So how many people actually using the Tridents, the automatic tester, the calcium, alkalinity, magnesium Trident? That is something you should never buy a second-hand.
Okay.
Because you need the customer service. Seriously, for the first year. So I have seen people going through 4 Trident in the first year.
Really?
Yes. And also, if you have an Apex, and you should buy it brand new, because if you do not have anybody to support you about how to use it, and if you're relying on the manufacturer to walk you through to help you, then you should buy a new. Keep in mind that manufacturer only make money by selling new equipments. Yeah. So if you want to support a manufacturer, if you need their service, if you want them to stay longer to support your hobby, consider buying things new.
What I will say, though, on that, Dong, is what I do think we should have in this reefing hobby that we don't compared to other sort of sectors or whatever, is we should have longer warranties. We should be able to buy longer warranties for certain products that cost people a lot of money to get the support that you're saying. And I know, like Paul Hughes always goes on about ASC, it's, you're putting something in a salt environment, it's going to degrade, it's going to rust and oxidize and blah, blah, blah. I completely agree. It is. However, we aren't talking about sometimes Jebao $30, $40, £40 items. We're talking hundreds of pounds that people have invested heavily in their reef aquarium. And when they fail, it can be game over for some people. And if they haven't got, let's be honest, these days, you go online to talk to somebody, you're not talking to somebody. It's a bot, it's AI, it's a chat room, it's whatever. Yeah. And that in itself is sometimes when you're at your end of your tether, to not be able to talk to somebody, if you're not fortunate enough to know a fellow reefer that can sort of help you on the phone or on WhatsApp or whatever, that can sometimes be the reason why people just go, I'm done. Because
that's a wonderful question. Yeah, that's a wonderful question for longer warranty. Guess what happened? It's the manufacturer who do not want to offer you longer warranty for this.
So you to buy it again.
Well, here's an idea.
No, they cannot, because we're talking about really harsh environment.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then a longer warranty basically is yanking profit out of their pocket.
Well, look, how about this, right? When you go and buy your shiny iPhone, and it's what's an iPhone, 800-900 quid, something like that, brand new.
Over 1,000 here.
Got the new ones out this week, mate. So I'm sure they're way more than that.
So let's compare that. Let's say an iPhone's the same price as an XR30, probably fairly comparable, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's even more profit on iPhone.
But what's the first when you buy a new mobile phone? What's the first thing they try and sell you with it? Do you want to pay $10.99 a month for insurance? And people take it up. So why not do that?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I would rather pay more for the product if I can. Then I know people are going to say, yeah, but you're paying for the cover, kind of in a sense, which I kind of get. But it's that peace of mind. If I've spent so much on this brand new, and that is the main reason why people buy secondhand, because when you buy it brand new, the minute it's out of the box and it's been in the water for 6 months, the customer service just not. In most cases, I can only say on my experience, it's non-existent.
So I just saw a comment talk about the Tunzi. The 5-year warranty, right? Okay. It all depends on what kind of product I'm making. For example, if I was Ecotech, hell no, I'm not gonna give you 5 years on my Radeon.
Yeah.
Because the complexity of the technology, and then the chance of it goes wrong. No, even you want to pay me money, I won't sell you a 5-year warranty. But for something like this, for wave pump, for Waymaker, give you a 5-year warranty is a piece of cake, because how big a chance they will fail in 5 years. It all depends on what technology. I have a J-Bow return pump sitting right there, over 10 years. I never even take it out for repairing.
You should never jinx yourself on this show, Dan. Because when you do that, you're okay.
Yeah, hitting on wood.
Things can go wrong. Trust me from experience.
So because that is a really simple piece of equipment. But once the equipment become more complex, let me give you real life example. For the past 10 years, how many people call me up, said my return pump failed? There's a quiet field. How many people call me up, say my J-Bow return pump you sold me, or you recommended me to buy from Amazon fell? 0. How many people that are using a Vectra that call me? They call me at midnight. Say, what can I do? My Vectra fell. Many times. You're paying about 5 to 6 times more. So every time my answer is that I'm going to grab a J-Bow from my shelf. I'm going to put the J-Bow on my front deck, outdoor. You come pick it up.
And why do you talk? So okay, valid point. Because I've genuinely had the same experience with the Vectra pumps, and I've just said to you about touching wood and not literally, not in that way, but jinxing it.
Yeah.
I've got one that Drippy gave me on an L1 in the garage, which touch wood has been brilliant. But prior to that, I have had 3. I can't remember which ones they are in terms of models, and they have all had issues where they've given, they're like the red ring or whatever you want to call it on the controller, and it just won't talk to it. And I've made phone calls and I've been told it's no good. So my question kind of to you is that why do you think that happens? Why is it a manufacturing fault? Is it electronics? Is it the mechanic? What is it?
Actually, it turns out to be I think that one of the component, there's some kind of capacitor. Okay. They probably source a lower quality capacitor or something like that, and many pump fail like that. But on the other hand, it's a complexity, and so Vectra pump has a pretty small footprint. It's been much higher RPM than the our cheapo J-Bow pump.
Yeah.
That way they can achieve a higher output and pressure at a smaller platform. So basically, that means that the pump is working harder than normal.
It's burning down, so it's going to be. So it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to burn down the impeller then, surely, and you're going to get
burning
shading.
down the electronic component inside the pump.
Yeah.
And that happened to J-Bow before, when in the early days. So like 15 years ago, and many J-Bow pump, but not happen very frequently on return pump, but happen very frequently on wave makers. And one day they just stopped working. So what happened is that I was told, don't quote me on that. So on the original design, there is a little sensor, a chip, a thermal sensor or something like that built into the pump head. So once it's overheating, and then you will send a signal to the controller to stop the pump. Okay, that thing, the little chip, is built into the pump head. And when people are not maintaining the pump, so the detritus or whatever gunk get into the chamber, and you rotate, you heat up the pump, so you burn up the chips. It make the whole head die. Wow. Then later on, this is just from grapevine. Okay, don't quote me on that. And then they did something happen to it, is that they removed that chip to the controller. That's what I was told. I do not know if this is right or wrong, if it's true or not. So they removed that chip to the controller, but with a thermal sensor here. Since then, the pump doesn't die anymore. So that, which means that a company, they do troubleshoot, they do improve, they do innovation. So otherwise, that company won't exist.
So it's very difficult for people that are obviously watching at home, that are in the hobby, to take on board trying to save money with I suppose with how does it work with quality? Where's the where's the
fine line?
Where's the fine line? That's kind of what I'm trying to say.
But this is an absolutely great question. Unfortunately, what I'm saying is that when you pay more money, it does not buy you better quality. That's the major issue. For example, that you've said I pay double the price of this thing, and I end up with a pump that lasts for twice as long as this thing. That sort of makes sense. But of course, that depends on how long that is. So if this pump lasts for 10 years, it doesn't even make sense to pay for 20 years, right? But the other extreme is that, all these propeller, they're made out of plastic, right? So plastic do wear down, but slowly. So what happens if I pay more for a titanium propeller? In theory, it sounds to be valid, right? But this plastic propeller lasts me for 10 years. A titanium propeller lasts me for 100 years. So should I pay 3 or 4 times or even 10 times more price?
But you buy a titanium propeller. But if
it's twice the amount, maybe for sake of being in a hobby, I will pay twice as much for a titanium propeller. But if I need to pay 10 times more for the same pump with a titanium propeller, which can last 100 years.
It's not.
It might not be the titanium. It might not be the titanium impeller that breaks, though. That's was what I was going to say.
Oh, if the titanium propeller breaks, you're screwed. You see,
but it might not be. But you might spend all that money on the titanium impeller so it doesn't break, but something else breaks, and then you have to buy that. Is what I'm kind of saying, and I've experienced similar. So you're saying about some of the cheaper items. Would it be fair to say that you look at it differently, the equipment that goes in the water as opposed to the equipment that is out of the water?
That is a very good question. That is why equipment in the water should be all DC.
Okay.
It should be all DC. So just in case your controller doesn't catch it, the leak, and you won't end up killing yourself by, for you guys, it's even worse. 220, right? For me, it's probably take me 10 shots to die. And for you guys, one is done. So that is why that, especially in salt water, everything should be DC. That's a very important thing. Unfortunately, for heaters, it's very difficult to. I don't think there's a DC heater exist. Right? There's no such thing. Yeah, all AC. But then there is an interesting way to look into the heater. Heater is one thing you should never cheap out because it's a piece of DC going into the water. Oh, sorry, AC going into the water. But now, it doesn't mean. Well, sometimes the price and the cost, the reality sometimes is not really correlate to each other. For example, that I used to have a lot of Eheim heaters.
Yeah.
Back 15 years ago,
Glass
all
ones.
the Eheim heater, the glass one, Eheim heater is so robust. But like 10 years ago, I have Eheim heater fell right out of the box.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, people keep asking me what I am using right now for heater. I'll be right back.
Oh, here we go again.
You can always get, no matter what brand or how good it is, you can always get one dodgy one. You can always get one.
I
get one dodgy one of everything, though, can't you?
Yeah.
I tried so many heater. I can tell you that because heater is a life and death issue.
Yeah.
So in winter time, if the heater doesn't heat up, that's a life and death issue. In summer, if the heater stick on, that's a life and death issue. So guess what I'm using now?
Hang on.
A high-grade heater. Oh, it's upside down. Yep. This is the same. Okay. Yeah, they're really not inexpensive because you're talking about $60 to $70 each. So it's pretty.
Are you going to do a live unboxing now, Dong?
Oh yes, I have so many of them sitting there as backups.
In a box as well.
Okay.
Like it.
In a box. Yep. Okay. The reason I use this heater, because the inside this plastic case are actually quartz glass tubes.
Ah.
Why glass tubes? Very important thing. Let me tell you one story again. I run into one of the memo of one of the aquarium manufacturer who manufacture heaters. The memo said titanium heater is not suitable for marine use unless it's pure titanium. That which means that you're going to pay $500 to $600 for each one. Then what exactly are those so-called titanium heater on the market? They are titanium alloy. The key word is alloy. They are not true titanium. They leach metals in your water.
What?
Oh,
really?
Yep, yes. That's why I use glass heaters. Okay. Second thing, a titanium heater, no matter what heater, there's a rubber ring to seal the heater. The power cord comes in, the rubber ring seals it.
Yeah.
And in a titanium heater, if that ring give up, you won't be able to see. Even inside is flooded with seawater, you won't be able to tell. It turns on, everything fried. But you have a glass heater. So every year before the winter comes, I take out all my glass heater. I look at the inside against the window. If I see any water droplet inside, that heater go to trash can. Because all heaters, the rubber seal ring in saltwater environment will give up.
Yeah, correct.
It's not if it give up or not. It's when you will give up.
It's going to corrode in it.
When.
Yeah.
So that is why rule number one, I stick with glass heater. But this glass heater is really not a glass heater. It's actually quartz heater, the high temperature smash resistant. Well, by saying that, I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is just what I'm used. I have no idea who is running Haiger or whoever they are.
What's the cost on that then, Dong, compared to what's the cost then compared to other competitors?
The titanium heater actually will cost a little bit less than this.
Oh, okay.
Is it the same sort of wattage to run it?
This is a 1,000 watt heater.
Wow.
The other thing I like about this, it has a digital controller. So why a digital controller is important? Now people are using Inkbird or all these digital controller thing, right?
Yeah.
And any heater with a built-in thermostat, the old school one,
Yeah.
is guaranteed to fail. Either fail by that little thermal, the bimetal coupling,
Dial,
which will, and if you have adjustable thing, even worse. That means that not only one rubber ring to seal the heater, the second rubber ring to seal the knob. That means that you double the chance to fail. Okay, so when you have a digital heater, there is the adjustment. There's no adjustment rubber ring on this thing. It only has a thermal sensor.
That looks very similar to a ceramic heater that I had in the DT display tank downstairs when I first set it up. I can't remember the name. It's a Japanese or Chinese name.
XTC or something like that.
Whatever.
Ceramic heater.
And I was having so many issues, and all jokes aside, with my Red Dragon pumps failing. And one of them, it kept one of my return pumps. I've got two on the DT downstairs. It just kept cutting off and then starting again. And I thought it was an issue with the pump, and it was the heater because it was 1,000 watt. It was interfering with the magnet on the return pump because of how much power it was pulling, and it was too close to the return pump, which I never knew.
Yes.
So I unplugged it, and for those of you watching, I know you've lived since then, but it was a bit boring story, but I couldn't figure out what it was. I was getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning because the tank was, this is like 1,500 litres of water. The tank was failing because this one pump, and it was all to do with the heater because it was winter, it was colder. So the heater was kicking in. It was interfering with the return pump and the magnet on the return pump, and it was causing the magnet to fail.
Actually, let me give you another story, real life story. Same scenario. Okay. I have a customer having the same experience as you experience. So the heater turns on in the summer, and then the DC pump shut off, and then the DC pump restart, come again. It turns out it's the DC pump's thermal sensor.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because that the thermal sensor was sinking. Is the pump itself that heat
It's
up.
Getting too hot. So the pump's getting too hot.
So
it turns it off. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Then by removing the heater, two chamber away.
I did. I moved the chamber.
But solve the problem.
Yeah.
That is
but nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you that.
See, so by going through so many troubles, I learned a lot. So that is that controller is too smart.
Wow.
Can I just ask
57 pounds. Yep. So
let me tell you. We talk about the dial on the heater. Can I just ask you to recap about the rubber on your knob you just said?
Pardon?
You just mentioned about a rubber on the knob. Where was that on the dial heater?
The rubber ring, the rubber seal ring.
Yeah.
That's happened on the adjustable heater, but this one doesn't have any.
I just wanted to double check that. Was all.
So another good thing about the heater about this, since there's no controller built into this part, they can seal it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So this has a much stronger seal. And there's an important thing. The thermal sensor is built into the two ends of the plastic case. So a very common scenario when you use an invert heating controller element, you have a little wire, a little thermal sensor. So many times I see this sensor pop out of the water, and then cook the whole tank. By integrating the thermometer, the thermal sensor in the heating element, we eliminate that problem.
Some of the
but I would always go for a second one. Sorry, Jamie, I'd always have a second one just to give me a different opinion. Go on, Jamie.
Oh, you mean the fail safe?
Yeah,
and then have an invert and fail safe, and then just cut it off. That's always a good idea.
Some of the newer Inkbirds have two temperature sensors, and you put them in two separate places as a bit of a fail safe to measure the difference between the two. So they are starting to think about it. And I think it's even though every heater has a stat built in, I always like to have mine plugged into a heater stat separate controller as well, just to double buffer that, or plug into the Apex.
Yes, I think that's a very good idea. If you have a second fail safe, I've been actually not beta testing. I've been running this heater for years. So ever since they come out, they seems to be quite reliable. Of course, that I would love to have knock on wood. So because they're digital, so the digital and there's a very little wear down things that wear down. But I also have another thing to show you. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
What has he got now?
Okay.
We need to know what's on his desk. If you
Oh,
want to
this
guess
is
what,
not on my desk.
yeah,
This
well,
is
we're
on
gonna
my shelf.
I'm going to ask the audience to guess what's on your desk, Dong, if you don't mind.
Very
So-
messy.
If anybody wants to guess what's on his desk, please feel free in the live comment section before we wrap up tonight. Okay, let me throw you on big
This
screen.
is another heater that I use. So this heater looks pretty common, normal, right?
Yeah.
But it does not have a temperature dial. It has a waterproof temperature button. You push the button, adjust the digital the setting here.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and also that the inside is not a bimetal clicker. That is highly unreliable. It's actually a computer chip.
Okay.
So
What
this is
brand is that?
this is some kind of brand from Poland. It's not very common in here. I found it on Coral Wheel when they do a closeout.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I think this is really interesting because also they have become so reliable.
What's that then? How big's that then that you're running? That you've got
That's
in your
a
hand?
250 watt. What's the brand name of this? It doesn't have a brand name on it.
Well, like you said earlier, they're all made from China. Who cares?
No, it's from Poland.
I know.
It's made in Poland. So this is a pretty good heater. I like this kind of thing. And there's another heater I will use. Actually, I'm using right now. Is by Cobot Aquatic. Is that Cobot? That pronounced this? Let's see.
Oh.
It's an Italian thing. Yeah, it's a heater. Also has a push button temperature adjustment and a digital sensor. So when you buy a heater, since a heater is such a life and death equipment, buy one that has a digital sensor and has a digital control.
One of the earlier questions, Dong, and I'm trying to scroll all the way back from the beginning of tonight's show, was regarding lighting. Now we've talked about conscious of the time, but we'll run over by a little bit if we have to. So one of the questions was regarding reef lighting, and we talked about reefing on a budget. So I think the question, it might have come from Mr. Wright. It was, what lighting do you run on the tanks and why? And how does that sit in terms of price, going everything we've talked about tonight? So price, build quality, reliability, customer service, warranty, whatever. What's on there behind you?
That one actually is Reefers Meridian LED. Okay. So the Meridian is the latest version of LED. So I am an authorized Reefers dealers. I know the owner of Reefers for a long time. He's a great guy, and I've been using Reefers for many years. I also can repair this light. So this Meridian is one of the test light before the Meridian actually released. I've been running that more than a year now, and just like the Evergrow Repeater light, the biggest benefit of them is that reliability. Seriously, these lights are very robust, and I have one running from. Also, they are very inexpensive. They're basically half the price of a Radion to have the same to cover the same coverage.
Yeah.
They have better spread than Radion. They have better spectrum than Radion. Yeah, they are better light than Radion.
We can't get these in the UK, can we, though?
No, of course you get them in UK all the time. This guy on UK called the Reef Dork.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
Alex, he runs Repeater, and they also call the Evergrow in UK.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I've run,
Yeah,
I've run the Evergrows.
Yeah.
All right,
They're
okay.
robust. So there's I have one
The programming wasn't the greatest from experience.
that is because that's the older model.
Okay, I'm on about the IT. Oh God.
The one with the remote control, right?
Yes, the one with remote
Yeah,
control.
that's a Penabot.
And when you have
But
when you have more than one light, they all talk
They all talk to each other.
Talk to each other.
That is a history now. It's a
Yeah.
history for several
Okay.
years. So right now that the Reefbreeder has an app, the phone app. Well, it's Wi-Fi as well. I prefer Bluetooth, but the Wi-Fi app actually is quite nice. So they're as easy as a Mobius. I can tell you that. As easy as a Mobius. So for example, when I get this light, and I still running the older Reefbreeder with the remote control. So that was the first time I actually programmed a Meridian. Launch the app, plug it in. It takes me less than 5 minutes. All set. It has all the feature that your Mobius has. It's very simple and easy. So, and also you can upgrade your older Reefbreeder to the Pro version with the app controller. And that actually is one of the best seller for me for selling the upgrade kit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how reliable these things are is let me give you one example. I have one that is 2018. That was 7 years ago. That was installed. After 7 years, there's no significant power change.
So it's not lost any performance then?
No, it doesn't.
Wow.
And also that every year I took him down, took the light down, I wipe it down. Because it's constructed with solid aluminum, it looks freaking brand new.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. That is the robustness. And one of the reasons this, well, I don't want to sound like commercial, but there is definitely something that I like about this light is that they run really cool. There's a reason for it. Because this light are 48-volt light.
Oh,
so,
right, okay.
Yeah, for LED, achieve the same voltage is about the current times your voltage equal to what? If you're using 24-volt power supply versus 48-volt power supply, at the 48-volt power supply to achieve the same power, the current is 50%.
So it's doing less work.
Less current going through the LED chips.
Less current, sorry.
But give you the same performance. And the heat generated from the LED chip is exponential to the current.
Wow.
That is why, and also that 99%. This is a quote from somebody making LED light, LED diode. He said 99% of LED chip failure is associated with heat.
Are you making notes, Jamie? Because we're going to have a test on this next Friday.
I know, right? It's like being back at school with current versus amperes and all that sort of stuff. Way over my head.
So dear. That's why that these things, the fan doesn't even run all the time. You cool to touch, and yet the longevity is important thing. So besides Reefbreeder LED, I run a lot of ATI T5. That's my favorite. Why is that? They last long. I have one that is more than 20 years old. Yeah, well, it's an ATI dimmable. And it was so old that I cannot even find a replacement controller.
The silver one. The silver one.
The silver one.
With the four buttons, 4 rubber buttons.
Yeah, five buttons. There's one button in the middle.
Yeah, and one in the middle. I have about 6 of them.
Yeah, and then that one's so old, I cannot even find the replacement controller. The reason is that the newer controller has 2 screws to lock it down into the aluminum body.
No, we might be able to help. I might be able to help you there.
The older one doesn't have those screws. No. So, but well, it's still working. It's not dead. Yeah. And also another good thing about them is that the ballasts are regularly have ballasts. They're commercially available. They're so cheap. the dimmable ballast, you can even buy it online, or even Home Depot has it.
I was talking to you last night, obviously, about numerous things for a good hour or so, and I've not had the T5s running in the garage for a good couple of years just because of the cost. But the difference, I'm a huge advocate of the coral cares, as I talked to you about last night, as people know, just for the performance versus the price, which we're kind of talking about budget and whatever. But the T5, but some of the frags that I'd cut, and that we were talking about last night about I suppose the stubs or whatever you want to call it. So I took a big chunk out of the DT downstairs. I've cut some frags off it, and they're on plugs. And then the leftover bit, whatever you want to call it, the stump of the coral, whatever, I put on a tile to grow out. The growth on that barley slimer. Honestly, I wish I'd said it a couple of weeks ago. I wish I took a time-lapse video and took a photograph every day of it, because I guarantee you within 2 weeks that's healed, like completely healed. And a barley slime is quite a thick, quite a dense sort of stem acropora. So if that's healing, and I genuinely, when I look at the coral, I've cut it off downstairs, the colony, that is nowhere near as healed as quickly as the one in the garage. There might be some water chemistry involved and nutrients and whatever else, but I genuinely think it's down to the lighting. Even though I'm a huge advocate of the coral cares, the point I'm making here is that technology, and yes, it's old and it's expensive to get the bulbs and cost of running it, that technology is still like halides, like way for me. I didn't think it was noticeable until I'd done what I'd done recently with these frags. I think it's difficult. You don't sometimes see the difference until, when you look at a coral that you've had, and it's sad. And I always say, take a photograph so you can look back and you can see how much it's grown, and it encourages you to know you're doing it right. But when you look at something and go like, hang on a minute, I fragged that like 2 weeks ago and it was looking really sorry for itself. And I thought it might even die or strip or whatever. And now it's like healed.
The T5. So it's kind of interesting. T5 does give out UV.
Yeah.
So because that is something that probably get ignored for a long time, because people keep talking about the good thing about metal halide. Oh yeah, you give out UV. Definitely, that's well known. The UV, the blah blah blah. But T5 does give out UV. How the T5 works is actually have a UV light inside to excite the phosphorus.
Yeah.
So it depends on what kind of glass they use for the manufacture. Even they use a UV shield glass, there's plenty of UV being leak out from there. So T5 does have UV. So maybe something to do with that. Maybe something doesn't. But another thing is that the uniform light field, the spread, that is not just spread. They actually physically have proton coming raining down from the sky.
Yeah.
So there is an interesting about the LED, the spread. I really hate the word spread, because the spread does not benefit acropora. So, for example, if you have a little light here, you can be a spread, just make the beam angle more shallow. You still cast the shadow. So even you have diffuser does not eliminate shadow. It just make your beam angle to be more spread out wider.
Wider.
Wider. So to have even light, you have to physically have the light coming from raining down bigger area than the coral is. So I think that T5 is not that seriously.
It's the bulbs in the UK. It's getting all the bulbs, and I'm fortunate that I don't know what the lifespan is of the bulbs, as in keeping them or storage. Okay.
Good question.
One second. So whenever I've bought a unit, or again secondhand, because I've never bought a T5 unit brand new, because they were ridiculous expensive. Like so expensive years ago. Whenever I've been fortunate enough to get one for the right price, and I've literally travelled the length and breadth of the UK, put my teeth back in to get them, I've always had that guy or that person that's had a tub of oh, you may as well take these tubes because they're no good to me. And they've all been brand new. And I've kept them. They're in the loft with the Christmas tree and everything else, and they're all there. So go on, over to you, Dong. What is the lifespan? Don't tell me I have to throw them away, please.
Because I use so many T5s, I do test them. Okay. Unused T5, they literally last forever. Seriously, forever is too long a word.
You'll do.
So I test a bowl that I forgot in the closet for 10 years ago. It performed as good as a brand new bowl. But one thing you need to pay attention to is the copper pins.
Yes.
Make sure, yeah. So if it look corroded, you just use a fine sandpaper to sand it out.
Yeah.
Because a corroded copper pin will basically cause a poor contact of the socket.
Yeah, and then it'll start to flicker, and then it'll stop.
Flicker and spark.
Yeah.
So as long as the bowl is not used, it's as good as new. Thing number one. Thing number two, how long a T5 tube lasts. They vary dramatically. For example, a brand called Hamilton in US is absolutely piece of shit. And their bowl lasts for 6 months, and then is significantly degraded.
Wow!
But if you look at an ATI or Giesman bowl, I run them for 1 year and a half.
What? Really?
Oh yeah. The T5 bowl, the first months they drop significantly. The burn-in period.
Yeah, the burning in period.
They probably drop like 25%.
Yeah.
And then they only drop about 5 to 10% for 1.5 years.
See, with the T5s, I used to judge it on when the end started to go black.
No, nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. The end goes black does not affect the performance.
Right.
I use a par meter.
The time.
Well, the reflectors are a massive issue as well, though. Making sure the reflectors are doing their job and not damaged, because they obviously reflect light. So.
You mean the aluminum reflector on top?
Yeah. Strip,
so you can use alcohol to clean it. So for the bowl
I can't give away alcohol, Dong. That's important to me.
Rubbing alcohol, the one not drinkable. Actually, if you use a single malt scotch to wipe that reflector,
I know somebody in the comments that might be able to help me with that.
I guarantee you, your coral will grow 10 times faster.
You heard it here.
So for the bowl, 1.5 years is the minimum time you should run them for ATI and Giesman. I cannot speak for any other brand.
So many people have always said to me 6 months. Change them every 6 months.
Yes. I ask people, if you want to give up your ATI or Giesman bowl at 6 months, toss it my way.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, toss it my way. Okay. Give it to me. I will continue to use it. I keep track of all the balls. I have a little sticker put on each fixture to see when the ball was replaced.
Yeah. And
if I get a ball that's 6 months old, I just put a note on it. So I run them for 1.5 years minimum.
Peter changes his every 2 years, he's saying here in the comments.
Yeah, every 2 years is about right. And the par level doesn't drop significantly. 5 to 10% is absolutely nothing.
Wow.
But I guess if you got a unit with 6 tubes or whatever, you wouldn't change all 6 at the same time, or would you?
Oh no, I changed all of them at the same time. I think staggering balls, too much work. Not enough.
I used to stagger them. I used to do them in pairs.
No, I changed them all the time because that is unlike LED. The T5, even at brand new stage, even the all 6 brand new, it doesn't put out so much power to kill your coral. It won't. How many hours a day? Is 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day, and also the dimmable and non-dimmable, no difference on the ball life. And previously, I heard from some grapevine saying that the dimmable light actually make the ball life shorter. Hell no, that is totally not true. So dimmable and non-dimmable. Oh yeah. So dimmable, non-dimmable makes no difference. And now people said, how about the spectrum of the ball? So there's somebody, which is not myself. He has a spectrometer.
Right.
He accomplished that part of study. No change. No change that is big enough that his spectrometer can detect. So that means that your ATI or Giesman T5 ball can surely last you for 1.5 years. Normally 2 years, no problem.
We're talking about reefing on a budget. The one thing I will say about the T5s is, yes, they cost more to run, but they get that hot. They get that more hot that you don't need to run a heater.
No. That is they don't actually run that hot that you don't need a heater. It's unlike metal halide. But here you bring up a very important question: is the running cost? How much is a running cost of T5 versus Radion LED? Actually, any LED. Okay. Now, in the LED world, people keep telling you how efficient. Any LED, because think about it, all the premium LED all use the same diodes, same type, same group, same form. So, but now, despite LED for lighting the building is very efficient, that is because human eyes are very sensitive to green and red.
Yeah.
So for lighting up our house or lighting up on the street, LED definitely save a lot of money because they're very good, very efficient, and green and red. Okay. Now you're talking about 150 to 100 lumen per watt on those kind of things. When you compare to 60 to 70 lumen per watt for T5 put out. Okay. That's a significant difference. But we are not talking about lighting up your room or your study or your driveway. We are talking about lighting up a reef tank. That means that the green and red LED is a minor component in this fixture. Major component, the blue, violet, all that kind of thing, I pull up their data sheet. I worked with LED manufacturer before. And the violet and blue region LED, and it can be 10, 15 to 30% of the efficiency of your green and red.
Okay.
Now you're talking about a reef light. A reef light is significantly less efficient than what LED portrayed it they are. Like lighting your office. The LED light your office is probably twice or 3 times more efficient than what you are doing on your reef tank, because we have to use the 405, 400, 410, 420 nanometer, 450, 470 nanometer. So those LED are not that efficient. So now you're talking about when you're lighting a reef tank using T5 versus LED. Let me give you one. I did an experiment. I set up one tank with same wattage of LED. Similar. Okay, so a 4-feet tank. So 6 ball T5, 4 feet is 354 watt.
54 watt per tube. Yeah.
Yeah, 300. Let's say 300 something, right?
Yeah.
Yep. 300. Yeah, 300 something, and then let's plus all the other overhead. Let's say 350 watt. Okay.
Yeah.
Pull from the wall. And
but the spread of that is unreal.
Oh yeah.
This is where you're going now, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, so run for 1 month, then I take it down and achieve the same spread, same power level. I actually end up using 4 Radeon XR15, and doesn't even get enough coverage for that for the 4-feet tank. Okay.
No,
so Radeon XR15, I run them at 100%, 90 watt each. There's a 360 watt of the freaking LED on the same tank versus the 360 watts of T5. And under the 360 watt of T5, my coral grows better, faster.
I can definitely tell
that they grow a lot faster. Tell me you save money on electricity. No, you don't.
Yeah. I think, there is a misconception, and I've been guilty of that because, like I say, when I read on the garage for the 3rd time, hopefully there'll never be a 4th, and I've put the so I'd got a coral tray under the A8 SE, the Chinese Radeon, and it was getting really bad algae, and I've got no fish in that section in the sump because it's a working sump, yeah. So I took it out and I thought I'm just going to put it in the. So I took the one that was in the coral table under the T5 that had not got really anything on it. Took that out, put the frags under it for probably about a week, and I was seeing more growth under that. And I say noticeable growth. I'm not talking like frags have grown, inches, whatever, but healing where the corals had been fragged, and they were healing a lot quicker under the T5, noticeable than they were under the Chinese Radion. And the Chinese Radion is still okay. I'm not saying it's not any good. It'll be okay. But the spread and I'm talking, I think there were probably 200 frags on this tray, all small little cuttings of various little SPS, beginner SPS. And yeah, I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't believe how quickly it had, because I'd never noticed it like that before. Because I'd always had the T5s over sort of, I suppose, colonies that had never really grown as much, or probably they'd grown, but I'd not seen as much growth as quick over so many different corals as I have from putting them in under the T5. It was insane, and I've had that unit for years, and I've not changed the bulbs on it.
So that's why actually you can do another experiment. So you get go find a 90-watt office lighting LED, not the fake wattage, the actual LED that draw 90 watts, the high bay lighting.
Yeah.
And then hang your Radion XR15 right next to it. Turn them on to see what kind of light you get. The 90-watt office lighting, you're going to escape. You're going to light a vampire get burned. For a 90 watt, that's how efficient for lighting up a room is. But on the same time, the 90-watt roof LED look like a piece of shit. It doesn't light up much area. So even though they're both consuming the same wattage, the same LED, both are LED, but because our human eye perception and
you've also got the lenses though. The lenses also focus out like down.
Yeah, but when we talk about the actual efficiency of the LED dial, it's because the dial that we have to use are much less efficient.
Yeah. Well, I got an apogee power meter, right, and I put the apogee under the T5 and to this coral table, and it was running at 70%, and I did a power reading. I think it was about 12 inches from the light to the where the corals were. And at 70%, some of them were getting nearly 1,000 par on a T5. And I just was just like, wow, I need to turn this down. So, yeah.
I think, is that underwater or above water?
That was the reading. So the bottom of the light to the bottom, so a foot to where the corals were, or these frags were on the egg crate.
Wow.
Was 900, 900, wasn't 1,000, is exactly 900. In the 8 to 900s, and I was like, wow. Okay.
That is why I always hang my T5 approximately at least 16 to 20 inch up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Which you'll get a bigger spread as well, won't you? Clearly.
Yeah, bigger spread.
Yeah.
Because that, and sometimes for the 6-ball T5, I turn off 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still good enough.
Wow.
So in terms of efficiency for the hobby, the grow coral, LED definitely doesn't trump on the efficiency. No, it doesn't. But lighting your room, LED is the way to go.
Yes.
It's because, because that the LED light up the room at the red and green region, and they're very, very efficient.
Yeah.
So, so that is I think that on T5 still have an advantage, but of course that T5 it doesn't look as sexy, right?
No, exactly, and that's what people go
also,
for.
you cannot program the crazy programming on it, so it's a set and forget. But for a coral farmer, set and forget is the best thing you can ask for.
Yeah, especially in such a labor-intensive job with so many corals to look after. Okay.
And also there's another thing that people didn't pay attention to is how the LED is dimmed. There are different technologies to dim the LED. So you can modulate the current going through the chips. Yeah. So you become you can dim them, or you can frequently flash them. change the flashing frequency of the LED chip to achieve dimming.
Right.
That is really bullshit for growing coral. But many LED are doing that by flashing.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
So your
Well-
coral actually exposed to this frequent flash. So for a human eye, we average out because we cannot detect this high frequency flash. So then we can see that, because that those flash is much slower than 60 to 50 hertz. But our eyes still cannot detect it. But for coral, it's like, what the hell is going on for this dimming?
Well, I think lighting is definitely a good conversation for us to have a topic on another time.
Yeah,
Dong.
absolutely. There's
Right,
so many to talk about. So
much
many
to talk about with
misconceptions.
lighting.
Yeah.
So we are well and truly past the 2 hour mark
Yeah.
on Friday, gentlemen. Thank you ever so much for joining us this Friday evening. Thanks for giving up those 50 odd, 60 odd of you that have stayed throughout the show, our support. We hope you have an amazing weekend. Dong, what are you doing next Friday? Anything in particular?
How about come here, talk to you guys? I really enjoy this.
Jamie?
I can go with that if you're happy.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
We'll see you next. We'll see you
Absolutely.
next week, Dong.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
If any of you that have watched us tonight or that support the network, which we really do appreciate, have got any topics in particular that you would like us to cover with Dong, please email them in as always to our email address. Like I say, or drop us a DM on Instagram to the Reefers Network. On there. But no, thank you ever so much for everybody for joining us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, hopefully, a little bit. Yes, we are going to carry on with the Sundays as and when. We're not going to try and force them on every Sunday because we don't want to be a reefing show that has got absolutely nothing to talk about other than what did you do this week, how many fish have you fed, cleaned your skimmer, whatever. You know the drill. So we just want to have fun and talk about the reefing hobby / community. So thank you ever so much for those of you that joined us. Hope to see some of you next weekend. I think it's next weekend. Aqua, looking forward to it. I will be there to see those of you that have made the effort to come out and look at some of the stalls and some of the people walking around. It should be good. Have a good weekend. We will see you all next Friday. Take care for now.
Yep.
Have a good time.
See you later.
Bye-bye.